Hello there, and good day to you. Thanks for taking time out of your day, and welcome to another episode of Words of Life. I was thinking this morning about just how do we walk. I, in preparation for this particular episode, was thinking about how I was much younger, and even today, I walk a certain way. And real young, it might sound silly, but oftentimes I would look at the down at the um, pavement or the sidewalk and look out for the cracks and try to avoid them. And I know that might be a little bit of OCD, but nowadays I'm more concerned about, okay, the steps I take in the sense of I don't want to fall. I don't want to say that I'm necessarily clumsy, but there have been times where I have misstepped. Um, and another thing might sound silly is I have tripped up going up and down the steps. It's not too uh, maybe I wasn't paying enough attention to how I was with my steps. And that's something that I want us to consider today. How careful are we within the manner that we're walking with the Lord? Are we walking in step with Him, or are we veering off the path? Let us kind of consider the ways that we are supposed to walk. And this has been something that we're only going to look at a few passages. There are so many that use this illustration, analogy of walking, and we hopefully are learning and growing in how to be in step with the Lord, not walking past Him, not, of course, veering off into another path, but making sure that we're walking side by side. The importance of walking side by side with the Lord is what is key here and paramount. So I just want to look at one passage in to begin with, as we see under the old law, the people of Israel, as instructed through Moses, after he was instructed by God to tell the people of Israel in Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 33, you shall walk in all the way which the Lord your God has commanded you, that you may live and that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong your days in the land which you will possess. So the hope was, and the instruction, that if they were to be obedient to God's ways and therefore walk in His commandments, they would be blessed. Unfortunately, to them, and they walked a different path. They chose to, in many instances, walk alongside, walk with those that were inside the land that were not of the people of God, godless people, and therefore walked astray or ran away from the Lord. And I just want to kind of briefly mention in the manner that we should walk, we are to bear much fruit in the way that we walk. If we're doing what God has instructed us to do, we should be seeing that our manner of life is producing fruit for the kingdom, that we are making connections with people. We are developing at opportunities to um, others. And that's just one of the things that is key for our walk with the Lord. And a couple of passages from the New Testament, first in Ephesians, and I would encourage you in your spare time to potentially study Ephesians 4 and 5. Those are very good passages describing, and then there's also passages in Colossians talking about the old way of life that you once were, and then in the new way of life. And then there's also passages in Galatians talking about, okay, you have works of the flesh versus things that we are not supposed to involve ourselves with, the works of the flesh, and what we need to be really centering our lives around the fruit of the Spirit. But just wanted to read from Ephesians 5, which says in verse 15, "Therefore be careful how you walk, not as unwise men, but as wise, making the most of the time because the days are evil. So then do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is." And that is something that takes a lot of effort. It's not just you spend a few moments in a day looking at some passages and reading a few verses, and then therefore you've checked off your God time, or you've set aside, not even that, just to look at some passages and saying, okay, I've done what I needed to do for the day, I'm good. No, it should be our mindset is, okay, Lord, help me to continually look on how to serve, on how to grow in maturity in the manner that you desire for me, and how I could not only share your truth with those that don't know you, but how I could encourage those that do, that we could be more efficient for your kingdom. And that we can pray for individuals to come to know you, be drawn to you, that more and more workers will be made available, because there is always in need of harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. One other passage that I want to just read from Colossians chapter 1, verse 10, "So that you will walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, to please him in all respects, bearing fruit in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of God." Just again, emphasizing that the way that we live should be evident to others. The way that we conduct ourselves should be evident, that we are different than those that are of the world. There should be a stark contrast. We should hope that you will consider, as I need to consider, the manner and the way that I walk, not physically, but most importantly, spiritually with the Lord. So thank you as always for taking time out of your day. May God bless you, and take care of yourself.